Welcome to the right side with In Profile. We're featuring in today's broadcast the most popular governor in the country, Governor Sarah Palin, who's governor of Alaska, and we join her in her Anchorage offices. Governor Palin, welcome to the right side with your host, Armstrong Williams.
Thank you so much. It's our honor to get to share Alaska with you. Thanks.
Yes, it is our pleasure. Obviously, people tout the fact that you are the first woman governor of the state of Alaska, and that it's not advisable for men to run against you because they lose. Is this a statement about the progress of women in America, where you have Senator Hillary Clinton, who's looming large? She has now taken a substantial lead over her nearest rival, Senator Barack Obama. It's just a statement of people who have worked hard, who are part of where you are, the state of Alaska. She's part of the nation, where she was our first lady for 8 years, where you've earned the trust and credibility, where people believe in your ideas and your values and your vision, whether it's for the state or whether it's for America.
That's a great question. You know, I tend to believe that it's a statement about hard work, about ethics and work ethic and values, and if an individual's values and work ethic reflect what it is that voters are looking for right now. Not a gender issue, but an issue of background and experience and values. So that's what I tend to believe. But I also think with Hillary Clinton doing well in the polls, with my election, with other women doing well in political circles, it's also, I think, a message that many Americans are just really hungry for something different, for a change, kind of an anti-incumbency sentiment that's expressed via their vote for somebody new, for somebody different. Happens to be that somebody new, in so many cases, has been a female candidate.
How would you define your values and who you are? Because in our research, it was not necessarily conservative, it definitely was not liberal. But you are a Republican governor, so who best to define that than yourself?
Oh, that's great, too. Well, I think I would be put in that box of conservatives. I am all about equality. Up here in Alaska, the Republican agenda, I believe, is the best agenda for our state and for our future, with the safe and stable resource development that's needed up here. And I think it's very easy to put me in that conservative box because I have a lot of faith in individuals, much more so than a faith put in government and government officials making decisions for individuals. So, you know, if I had to check a box by what am I, liberal, conservative, it would be conservative.
What did you learn as a candidate from your defeat as lieutenant governor?
Yeah, that's a great question also, because, yeah, you learn something from every experience. And I lost by about 2% of the vote back in 4 years ago. That it was a good experience for me because in that defeat I learned that you can't push anything if people aren't quite ready for it. I'm the same person that I was back then, same values, same positions, same issues that I ran on this next go around, but people even 4 or 5 years ago weren't quite ready for someone as new as I was on the scenes. Certainly I was not part of any kind of good old boy network. I'm not part of the establishment. In fact, I've had to fight the establishment over these years. I think 4 or 5 years ago in our state, people weren't quite ready for that. They were ready the next go around.
You know, you say as new, many people refer to Senator Barack Obama as a very attractive candidate. People are just so excitable about the fact that he's raising so much money, but yet they say he's fresh, he's not seasoned, he has not gone through the school of hard knocks. What advice would you give him in terms of what you've learned? You talked about new. Mm-hmm. Define that newness, and how does one gain that kind of credibility and trust in terms of experience? Especially you were in Kuwait not long ago, mm-hmm. because you guys have such a commitment in terms of you're from Alaska, people serving in our military and our armed forces. So how do you shoulder that? Because you're a young governor, you're in your 40s, he's in his 40s, you're in the same generation. Mm-hmm. How do you make up for that?
Oh, I'll tell you, I think that the best thing about being a new face or a new voice is that new perspective we get to bring into as we try to find solutions to all the challenges facing the state, or as Barack is trying to do, find solutions to challenges facing America. A new perspective for me, what's been so valuable is I don't have allegiances to or obligations to individuals who maybe in the past have been part of the problem and been part of a path that we were on that wasn't leading to solutions in our state. I've been able to come in quite fresh, if you will, in terms of bringing in new people along with me with new ideas, people willing to serve for the right reasons, not for any kind of self-interest or for any kind of political paybacks or anything else. That's been very helpful, and I think for other candidates across our nation also, if they're leery at all about jumping into the political arena because they may be criticized for being too new or young or inexperienced, turn that into an asset, and you do that by surrounding yourself with wise people who also want to serve for the right reasons, and truly you can turn it into an asset.
How do you, you know, it is amazing sometimes when you lose an election like you did, the possibility of your winning seems so far away because you're dealing with the wounds of the loss. And yet you were able to regroup. You defeated Governor Murkowski, and who was an incumbent governor. You defeated him, and you went on to win out of that Republican primary. But the thing is, though, is that when you have this idea, this excitement about becoming governor because of what it symbolizes to so many people. You go to those mansions, you get to meet these people, and yet governing is something that's entirely different. Reconcile from us your idealism about being a governor from the reality of what it really is and what it really takes.
Well, the reality is it's a heck of a lot of work, and it's a lot of mundane tasks that just have to be taken care of, and you don't, you're not able to delegate everything as maybe some ideally would think that you're able to do, that you can just hand over an issue to a cabinet member and they're going to deal with it, and they'll deal with that to the degree of satisfaction that you expect. No, you know, if you want it done right, you got to kind of do it yourself for the most part. So that's the reality of the job. I think, though, I haven't had a problem with that because I'm a mom, and this has always occurred to me with having 4 very active kids at home. I think so often also you try to get your kids to do something and maybe they don't want to do it, and you have to figure out a way to get them excited to accomplish what it is that you're tasking them to do. At the same time, you have to balance that desire or that insistence that they take care of something with knowing when sometimes you're just going to have to take care of it yourself. And sometimes I think about this during my day. I think, well, it's kind of like at home. You walk by a pair of dirty socks sitting there on the floor, and you say, you know, I've asked the kids to pick that up how many times, and it still isn't. Well, I'm just going to have to do it myself. And you take care of that task that's mundane. It's not fun, but you got to take care of it so that you can get on to bigger issues that you're dealing with, maybe in this case with your kid that day. So training as a mom, that's very much incorporated into the job as governor.
You know, we were struck by your loss as lieutenant governor, and you were later appointed to a commission, which you resigned from because of your perception of corruption. Talk about that and how that has impacted your leadership, because you don't mind criticizing those within your party. You just abhor corruption and people fleecing off the state for their own greed. How did that experience further drive that point home?